It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
Welcome back, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Ryan Ermanni won't be joining us today, but my man, legend in the media game here in the state of Michigan and around the nation, it is Terry Foster.
And I'm all swelled up today, man.
How you feeling, T-Foss?
Good. Everything's beautiful. A little warm, but it feels like it's cooling off a little bit.
Yeah, and also, it's a little warmer when you got James in the TD booth yelling at us like that. Calm down over there, James. It's all good. No, James in the TD booth. My man KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood. Good to see you as well, brother. P. Spivak doing his thing behind the scenes. He's back there like the Wizard of Oz, puppeteering, if you will. It's hot outside, which is why I look like this. I'm black as I don't know what. My hair is sweating. Just left the golf course, DGC. It's shaping up for the Rocket Mortgage Classic. It's funny watching that golf course take shape from a month ago to what it's going to look like next Friday.
Are you playing in it?
No, not this year. I played in the Pro-Am 2 years ago. And
I thought you were going to be in the actual tournament.
Well, you know what? I'm good enough to play in my mind. In my mind. I can go out there and do what Rory McIlroy did, at least on hole 18. Speaking of that, James, you got the clip. Most people, when they send you videos of them playing golf, Tom, and who does not care about golf whatsoever, T-Foss, it's always a drive. It's always a driver. Well, here's some iron work on a 164 par 3 up the hill. I'll let you be the judge. See a little practice swing right there, a little warm-up action.
Okay.
Them legs look kind of little, man.
You see the form?
They look sweaty.
See the form? Wow.
Hey! Oh, yeah, you see it. Watch the zoom in. Watch the zoom in. Watch the land. Boop.
Oh.
9 feet from the pin. Not bad, man. Look, DGC is a tough place to play, so I will take that. Just want to let you know where I was going before there.
Did you hit the putt?
I did. I actually made the putt. Sweet. I actually made the putt for birdie, which is why I love golf, because on the next hole, I double bogey. So there you go. Birdie followed by a double bogey. I think that is golf. T-Foss, big news out of the Detroit Pistons. And before we even say hello, let's jump into it. Monty Williams fired. Before we talk about Monty's comments about the situation, what was your initial reaction when you heard that he was fired?
My initial reaction was Monty Williams must have been in his office and said, my people got released or freed on Juneteenth. I got freed on Juneteenth.
So Vincent Goodwill said to us yesterday. We had him on the show. He got fired on Juneteenth. Interesting thing.
Right.
On his day off.
I think that Monty Williams pulled the wool over the Pistons' eyes. He didn't want this job.
Yeah.
He played Killian Hayes ahead of Jaden Ivey. He had a hockey rotation. The bad boy Pistons were a championship team. They only went 9 deep. Monty Williams was going 11 deep in the first quarter. That made absolutely no sense. I think my man thought about it, says, let me see. I could stay here and coach this slop for 5 years and get $65 million.
Yeah.
Or I can get fired, be chilling out at the pool or the Bahamas or Hawaii or Fuji or wherever I want to go and still get my $65 million.
What do you think about the other side of that? Like, look, the Pistons came to Monty Williams 3 times, and we know that for a fact. They came to him the first time with an offer. He said, listen, I'm not really into golf I'm still thinking about golf. I'm not into basketball right now. I'm having some family situations, situations, if you will, with his wife. They came to him again with another offer. Turned that offer down as well, Terry Foster. Came to him again with the highest contract that an NBA coach had ever received at the time. Can you blame Monty for that if they keep throwing all this money?
I'm not hating on him.
Yeah.
Tom Gores is the idiot.
Yeah.
Why do you throw money at a guy who doesn't want to work for you? And here's the thing about the NBA. Last time I checked, fellas, it's a players' league. If you don't have players, you don't win. If you don't have a coach that's motivated, stimulated, and wants to make change, you're not going to win.
Yeah, I agree.
So, no, I hear Tom Gores getting praised. Well, he's willing to spend money. But, if you throw money and hire, Goober Pyle as your coach or your general manager, it's not going to work. It doesn't matter how much you pay them. You have to be able to get competent, smart people who want to coach or general manage the Pistons. Now, one thing that's unique to Detroit. Detroit people don't want to hear this,
Right.
but when you lure some people here, a lot of times they don't even want to be here. They took the job because of the money. I think Monty Williams did that. Matt Patricia with the Lions, he didn't really want to be here. So the Lions got somebody who was passionate about the team, wanted to be here, and I think that's what the Pistons need to do.
Yeah, 100%. You know what? Somebody said in that seat yesterday, talking about Ryan Ermanni, and what he said was he gave Tom Gores credit for firing Monty Williams for pulling the trigger on a one-year situation. And I'm going to ask you, do you give Tom Gores credit for redoing what he did last year when he had no business giving somebody that much money that necessarily didn't want to be here?
No, I'm not going to give somebody credit for being an idiot. First of all, you should not have hired him. When the man said, I don't want to work for you, you should have said, okay, cool. Because what Tom Gores doesn't understand, since he's never here, is that in order for stuff to work here in Detroit, you not only have to have a competent coach, you not only have to have someone who's good with motivation or X's and O's, you need someone who believes in the product, who believes in the city, who believes in our way of life. And Monty Williams was none of that.
It's kind of like somebody pushing you in the deep end of the water when you can't swim and then also saving you. Well, you pushed me in the water. You're supposed to save me. So he basically did
I'm not going to give you any love.
But he wrote a $65 million check admitting his mistake.
Yeah.
Admitting his mistake. Now, it's his. We all know it's his problem.
Right.
Because the product would work better if the owner was here. If the owner showed up at games like Mr. Davidson used to show up, like Mark Cuban shows up, like Ballmer shows up for the Clippers, the product will be better. People are held responsible. People are held accountable. So this will be his 6th coaching hire since 2011. The 6th coaching hire since 2011. And you got a bunch of names out there, a lot of people never even heard of, that they're going to come here and they're going to get a chance to coach this team. You're not going to have any veterans come here anymore. The veteran didn't work. That particular veteran didn't work. Now, let's just say you brought in last year, let's say you gave Jeff Van Gundy that job. I bet you it would have worked better than Monty Williams because, like you said, Monty wasn't here 100%.
Yeah.
He was here 50%. And the other 50%, he was home thinking about his wife who was battling an illness, thinking about all his years with Phoenix, and then he needed a break. Pardon?
Get the paycheck.
Yes. Yeah. It's a paycheck.
Yeah, he's made $102 million in 2 years.
By not hiring the right veteran coach at that time, now you're going to go out and hire a rookie coach and hope he works. And one of the names, we said it last week. We said, I bet you the runner-up from the Lakers job, whether it be Dan Hurley, who he's not going to come, or J.J. Redick, who hasn't been signed yet. Now there's a rumor J.J. Redick might come here. Guess who used to be his agent?
Arm Tellem.
Arm Tellem.
I don't like that, man.
I'm just telling you.
I don't like
that
it.
name is out there right now.
I'm against it.
Before we get to J.J. Redick and the other future coaches, as you saw the list up there, because there are some names already being thrown in the hat. Tom Masway, Monty Williams said he was blindsided.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Maybe a little.
Yeah.
Maybe a little. Only because they let him fester all this time.
Yeah.
They bring in Trajan Langdon as the president, but they haven't announced him officially yet, right? I mean, they put him up there on Twitter. Hey, welcome to our new president. They haven't had the press conference yet. And then he goes out, Monty hires an assistant away from the New Orleans Pelicans. Not Monty, but Trajan Langdon. Brought an assistant in to work on Monty's bench. He might be the next freaking coach.
Now, what I heard what I heard about this assistant, KG, and I'll toss to you after that, is he is a specialist in the regards of shooting. He's a shooting coach, kind of like what's his name, Phil Handy. Yeah, that's coach for the Milwaukee Bucks, coach for the Lakers, and a lot of people revere him out there. He's like a specialist in shooting, not necessarily coaching. KG, what have you heard?
Yeah, and he fixed Lonzo Ball's shot. So anybody that can fix Lonzo Ball's jump shot, he's probably a good coach.
Does he play?
Who?
Does Lonzo play?
You said Lonzo Mourning?
Is Lonzo even in the league?
Yeah, he's still in the league, bro.
Oh, he's in the league?
And they fixed that nasty-looking shot.
I'm glad. I'm glad he fixed the shot.
Well, no one's seen it, so we wouldn't know.
Yeah, then he got injured, so it is what it is. But with the Monty thing, I can kind of understand him being blindsided. Like, he literally met with Trajan over the last week, and they were discussing ways to move forward with this team. So in his defense, I can understand why he's blindsided to a degree, but when you go and put up 14 wins, you got to expect that's not good enough. Even with, the situation that it was, you were a established coach. You were known to have quick turnarounds in your career. The fact that you came here and only got 14 wins, I mean, it's kind of the writing was on the wall, essentially.
Funniest thing is the Detroit Pistons had 2 more wins than the Detroit Lions did last season. Put that into perspective.
Yeah.
But they had 2 less wins than the Boston Celtics had this playoff run. Boston won 16, the Pistons won 14. I just wanted to remind Terry of that.
How can you be blindsided when you put up ugly numbers like that?
Yeah.
That's why at press conferences, I just don't believe most of the stuff that we hear.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you on that stance. And a lot of times it's just BS. It's just coach speak, or it's just saying something at the podium. Last night I went to a concert. I went to see Janae Aiko. Great show. Definitely a woman's show. It was very interesting in there. But I was thinking, I'm at LCA. This is home of the Pistons. We know it's the Red Wings arena. It's home of the Pistons. And I was thinking, for the first time I'm in here, I don't know who the coach is going to be. I don't know who the players on the team necessarily are. I don't know what the direction of the franchise is. Like it was hitting me as I was walking up the steps and looking at all this Pistons magic. When you go in the club, you see Isaiah, you see Bill Laimbeer, you see the pass, you see the trophies, you see the 3 Larry O'Briens. And you're just like, from that to this, now understand it is different ownership, Tom Gores versus Mr. Davidson, but it's just crazy how far the Detroit Pistons have fallen. Like?
A Piston executive, because they don't know what direction the team is going in. Yeah. They don't know who the next coach is going to be. They don't know how to steer this ship.
You can't steer a ship when your captain isn't present. And every organization, every corporation, whether you want to go in basketball, you want to go football, you want to go to IBM, you want to go to Google, if your CEO or your owner isn't present and understanding, Tom Gore's throwing money at issues, but throwing money at problems is not the same as being on the ground, figuring out how do we make this thing better. Until Tom Gores wants to have that conversation, I don't think the Pistons can do much. Even with Trajan Langdon and what he was doing down there at the Pelicans and his resume, won't mean anything without Tom Gores actually being here.
I know. Here's the unique thing we have in this city now.
The Lions?
We always used to say Lion ownership was the worst in Detroit. That is no longer the case. Now we got to decide what's worse. The worst ownership, Tom Gores or Chris Ilitch? Yeah, and that's a hell of a debate that you can have.
It's got to be Gores.
Maz, I want to ask you this question because I heard this and I think it's a real question, and it stems from what Terry was just saying. Who's in worse shape? Now I'm not gonna say who's the worst owner. We already know it's Tom Gores. Like Chris Ilitch, I wouldn't do that to you. But who's in worse shape? The Detroit Pistons or the Detroit Tigers? Because here we are yet again, and I know I'm jumping gears right now. Here we are yet again with the Detroit Tigers. We're about to get to the trade deadline. The Tigers are no longer in contention. They're 6 games back. They're not going to make the playoffs. We know that. Tarek Skubal, they're going to probably trade him. They'll trade Flaherty as well. We're right back at square one. Who's in worse shape, Pistons or Tigers?
Well, the Pistons need, what do you need? 11 good. You need at least 9 good players on your team. 9
they're in
deep.
The East. East
in
is
the
fixable.
East, you need 9. They have 4. And they're mismatched parts. They might have 5.
Who?
They might have 5 good
who's
players
got
on
4
that
good
team.
players?
Cade
Pistons,
Cunningham.
The Tigers?
No.
The Pistons?
Yeah, Pistons.
Name them.
Cade Cunningham.
Okay.
Jaden Ivey.
Nope.
Jalen Duren.
Nope.
Azar Thompson. Hold on.
He's not good.
Who's my center? Wiseman.
Oh no!
Man,
You lost me. You lost me.
You must have got some. I'm
What's
a
in that
nice
water
guy
bottle?
pills, man. You being
How about
too
Stu?
nice today.
How about
huh?
Big Stu?
No.
Beef Stew.
I was
Stu not good enough.
He's a wrecking ball, and I
So you
applaud
don't
him.
like. So pick an NBA team. They wouldn't want those 5 players on that team.
They couldn't start for any. No, the bad teams, yeah, they'll take some of them.
We're a bad team.
Well,
Don't you think they're a good start to a bad team?
No, I do not. Look, the Pistons. The only thing I'll give them credit for is this: when we make the comparison to the Tigers, at least the Pistons' 2 young cogs are in uniform. One of the 2 young cogs with the Tigers who's supposed to lead the way is in Toledo.
Yeah.
Terry,
and he got
I'm talking
benched.
about Spence.
And you know what?
He got benched. In
We
AAA.
are praising Riley Green, but look at his numbers. They're so pedestrian.
His numbers have been great the last month.
I'm tired of that too.
It's the truth.
I'm
Oh,
tired.
the last month, a
No.
certain
I'm tired of.
He had a down 3 weeks, but he has picked himself up and he is leading the team in all the categories right now.
Dude, you'd be leading the Tigers in stolen bases. They're bad, man. Don't.
So somebody answer my question. I mean, we're dissing both teams, but the answer hasn't.
I say it's the Pistons.
Pistons, you think are in worse shape?
Yeah.
Tigers or Pistons?
At least the Tigers have pitching. But you know what? The Tigers have to.
They won't, because now they're gonna
they're
the
gonna
trade
trade
deadline. They're gonna
everybody
trade
away.
Skubal.
They're not going to trade Skubal.
They're definitely trading Flaherty.
Yeah.
That deal's already on the table.
Flaherty is going to go.
Yeah. Pistons in a tougher hole because it's harder to win in the NBA, and at least with the Tigers, they can get out of their problems if they chose to spend money, and they have the money to spend.
Baby boy, it's easier to win in the NBA.
Is it?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Now if the
In the
Pistons
East, maybe.
Yeah,
No,
right.
in
But
the NBA,
Well, they play half the
period.
games.
there's a reason the Celtics have 18 championships, and the next closest is 3. The Pistons have 3, so it's like,
Oh, yeah.
come on now.
Well,
Like,
they found a way, but the Celtics have better management than
They
the
got better
Pistons.
front office.
Yeah.
Right.
Their front
Over
office,
the-
like
yeah,
the Celtics
over
front
time.
office has always been what it is now. Danny Ainge, and now you have Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens tried his hand at coaching. Coaching didn't work, but they saw something they liked in him. Moved him to the front office. He drafts Jaylen Brown. He drafts Jason Tatum. Lakers could have got either one of those guys, and they didn't.
Yeah.
They chose Brown. They chose Tatum, and here they are. And they also get the right free agents. So their front office is magic. That's why the Celtics.
They've only won
and-
twice since '86, just to let you know.
yeah.
2 times since '86, the Celtics have won.
True, but they've always
It's-
been a competitor.
But
They've always
They have
been.
back
that
in the
just
old
show you
days.
it's tough to win in the
They've
NBA.
been in the Eastern Conference Finals the last 6 years when Paul Pierce.
No,
and
they've been
KG
terrific,
Yeah.
no question.
But it's tough to win in the NBA, especially when
a
you
good
have a young
organization.
team, an all young team of just kids. You can't win with kids in the NBA.
How are the Orioles right now? Like the
Orioles are tremendous.
The Orioles is exactly where the Tigers were 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The Orioles actually had the worst record in baseball, if I'm not
They
mistaken.
drafted
well,
beautifully.
and
Oh,
they are
shocking.
willing to spend a little bit of money. They might not spend the most money, but they are willing to spend. Baseball has no salary cap, so that's why it's easier for the Tigers.
I don't think anyone
Here-
has
They
a
chose
salary
to
cap.
spend.
baby boy, here's why I think it's easier in the NBA.
Baby boy.
If you make competent decisions, the Pistons could be a really good team. I
absolutely.
remember going out there with Stan Van Gundy. What do you want in a player? He described Devin Booker to a T.
Mhm.
I want a guy who can shoot. I want a little light-skinned dude.
Then they went and got Josh
whatever.
Smith.
Did he mention the skin color?
Then he didn't pick him. Then before that, he picked Stanley Johnson, who couldn't play.
Yeah,
It's
brutal.
You don't remember Stanley
No, I
Johnson?
said, ugh.
Yeah, I know.
I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
Right.
He had promise, but he just wasn't it.
And then,
he was not it.
But
And then
then
Troy
too,
Weaver had a shot at Halliburton. Nah, I think it will go Killian Hayes.
yeah. Then it's also something sticking with the Pistons. It's also something about wanting to be here. It's also about the coaches that they have wanting to coach here. It's all about getting them to develop players. How many players have the Pistons drafted or bought here over the last 12 years that have gone elsewhere and has turned it up?
Yeah.
A lot.
And a lot of them, and you just named a bunch of them in terms of maybe coming back.
Yeah.
Spencer Dinwiddie is the
Yep.
guy.
It was
Brown.
tremendous.
KCP's on his 3rd ring now.
Yeah.
Second wing.
Yep. Bruce Brown got a
Yeah,
championship.
but
Chris
he's still
Middleton.
he's still the same player that he was with the Pistons. He can shoot the three unless you really need it, then he's gonna brick it.
Yes.
That's what KCP does. But
He
you know
made
what?
him in Denver and he
But
made him in
once
LA.
again,
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
Because he had people around him. I think it's
Damn right.
it's fit.
It's like Cade Cunningham. A lot of people say, well, Cade can't play. Give him some players and let's see if he can.
Would you be up for trading Cade? Has Cade shown you enough to where you believe that he can stay? He's a main focal piece for you, and you build around him, or are you open to moving Cade for more players, more picks, whatever the case may be to get better?
No Tifo.
I am not an advocate of trading Cade Cunningham.
Oh.
I think he can be a very good player if, once again, if he's surrounded by good players. But that's everybody in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, even Michael Jordan needed players.
this is true.
Kobe needed players.
You got to have a squad. You got to have people around you. One of the things I learned in the NFL, just being in that league or being in the professional level, is that when you have players around you, players make players better. Like other players make players better. And when you have good players around you, young guys can learn from those players. When you have stars, people have a blueprint on what to do, or they can ask conversations. I remember when I was with the Browns, not necessarily a lot of guys around, so not a lot of guys to ask, not a lot of guys to learn from. When I got to the Jets, it changed. There were some veterans there. There were some guys that I believed in. There were some guys that I saw the work ethic, made me want to work a little harder. The Pistons haven't had that in Lord knows how long. If you bring in a guy like J.J. Redick, and people can say what they want about J.J. Redick. He may not know the game or this, that, and the third. He hasn't had a job before. Yeah. J.J. Redick knows the game.
He does know the game.
He knows the game. And I think when you got young guys, a lot of times with these guys not going to college or going for 1 year, not really learning that game, you got to have somebody that can teach them the X and O's. And I think J.J. Redick would actually be a decent fit in that regard.
Be careful, young fellas. Be careful.
Yeah.
A lot of dudes are polished on TV. A lot of guys can spit
Matt
out.
Millen.
Oh, yeah, bam. Matt Millen was supposed to be the best
It's different when you
commentator. But be careful about this J.J. Redick thing.
Yeah.
He hasn't coached in the league.
No, this is true.
He's very polished, good-looking dude. So you're like, that's got to be our guy. Don't fall for that fake. I'm telling you.
True. Who was his coach in college? I just look at his background.
Coach K.
Mike Krzyzewski's not even arguably, well, I like Dean Smith, but anyway, the greatest coach of all time, Coach K, Duke. You saw LeBron, how LeBron and Kobe, how they responded to Mike Krzyzewski. So that's a real thing.
True.
That's his mentor. Look at how many places he's been and been an effective player in the NBA. He's been around a bunch of different coaches. He's seen a bunch of different systems. Even though he's never coached the league, I think that does count for something, though, T-Foss.
But this is a tough situation to walk into. It is.
Who's the greatest NFL coach of all time?
Vince Lombardi.
Modern day.
Bill Belichick.
Okay.
You taking Bill over his teacher?
Bill
Parcells?
Yeah.
You know I'm a Parcells guy,
that's
but
why I asked
I'll get ripped if I say Parcells. So I'll say Belichick.
But
He's got the
how
most
has
wins.
Belichick's assistants done?
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
One or two of them have been decent.
Yeah.
That's it. Parcells' tree is better than Belichick's tree. No doubt about it.
Belichick's
I mean,
tree
but
as well.
modern day coaches, hell, man, you can even throw Mike Tomlin in there. Look how steady he's been.
If Andy Reid wins another Super Bowl.
Andy Reid, I'm sorry. There you go.
If he wins another Super Bowl, is he starting to get in contention with Bill Belichick?
He gets dissed. No question about it. See, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
He's just the jolly old, not the jolly green giant, the jolly red giant.
Because everything I hear about Andy Reid is like, Andy Reid has Patrick Mahomes. Well, Bill Belichick has Tom Brady.
Exactly. He could coach, man. That was a good play. Hey, James, do me a favor. Put up the Pistons coaching search by our friend Piston
I might throw
Talk.
my hat in the ring for the Pistons.
Our friends Piston Talk. Anthony Colombo made this list. Take a look at these people, guys. Terry, I'll go to you first. If you can read that list in front of you, is there anybody there that butters your bread?
No. My bread is not buttered.
I wouldn't say butters my bread.
Yeah, but you got to pick somebody. I mean,
no, I wouldn't say butters my bread, but Chris Quinn is somebody I'd be interested in. Chris Quinn would be something that was interesting. Other than that,
How about you, Kenny? You see anything up there?
I would go with James Borrego, man, because he has actual head coaching experience.
Tell me what he did.
He was in Charlotte, and he had a winning record his last year there. Had a 10-win increment improvement every year. So I don't know what he got into with the Charlotte organization as to why he's not a coach anymore. But he's been a long time but he's been a long time assistant as well. So I feel like he could come in and make a move right away. Another move name that's not on that list real quick is Sam Cassell as well. Another long-time assistant, somebody that's very well respected, was on the Celtics championship team this year, and a lot of what Joe Mazzulla gives credit to is Sam Cassell and some of the stuff he's done with the team.
It's so funny. You look at that list, those five guys, all of anyway. For another day. Sam Cassell has been at this a very long time. I don't understand.
I'll throw a name out there that gets completely dissed year in, year out. Mark Jackson.
I knew it was coming.
I'm sorry.
He might be out of touch with the game at this point, though. That's the only thing. I think he is a good coach, too, but is he adapted to today's NBA? I don't know. And you can't coach the style of, how he coached these young players. You can't do that.
100%. He was definitely hard on those guys. I mean, he grew up in that area. I mean, he played at St. John's in the 80s, played for the Knicks in the 80s and 90s. So definitely a different style. But at the same time, KG, he allowed the Splash Brothers to exist.
Absolutely.
Mark Jackson's the one to say, if you guys can shoot like that, shoot from the logo. He's the one that allowed them to do that, gave them the confidence, and then the rest is history. Steve Kerr comes in. I think because of that connection to Golden State, and then maybe just doing these games over the years, he's been in basketball ever since then. I think he could be, but does he want to coach?
He could be. I think actually Golden State ruined him,
Yeah.
ruined his chances. Because when you look at the total picture,
whatever they said behind his back was
he
crazy.
had first shot at the Splash Brothers and it didn't work out. And then they come back and win multiple championships on our dominant team after he leaves. So I think that's going to hurt him.
You got anyone in mind, Terry?
Yeah, I believe that you need someone who cares about the organization, is passionate about the organization.
Dan Campbell.
Someone like Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Chauncey Billups.
I'm good on the retread.
Is he still in Portland?
No, I
don't know.
I think they let him go. Or
nobody even knows. I think he's still there. I haven't heard him get fired.
Guys, I think my guy might be too old. Bill Laimbeer. And
he won a championship with the Shaq.
I don't think he pays attention.
Yeah. That was 2003.
He knows what's
what's he going to do? Bring Ruth Riley here?
Yeah, like the Pistons retread is just not going to work.
Shout out to Tweety Bird.
Tweety, yeah.
She's going. I can't.
A former Piston is not coming to save y'all, man.
She's going to bring Swing Cash for
Ford.
Right.
Cheryl Ford.
But the thing is, he understands the league.
He does. He was a great coach, man.
He can coach, and he's not going to be a dominant this type of guy that everybody thinks he's going to be. He's just going to tell these dudes, okay, we're not going to watch a lot of film. We'll watch some. We're not going to have long practices, but we're going to take care of business. Show me that you can play. Bill Laimbeer is not going to be the tyrant that everybody thinks he's going to be.
Here's another thought. We talked about this yesterday a little bit, T-Foss. You see what happened with James Dolan and the Knicks. James Dolan was getting in the way of the Knicks. He was ruining them on the court. Right. He was ruining them off the court. The alums don't want to be a part about it. Spike Lee, Stephen A. Smith, you name it.
Sexual assaults.
They did not want sexual assaults. They didn't want anything to do. And he was ruining the brand, bringing in the wrong players, not paying the players that they should pay. Well, once he built that sphere out in Vegas, the last 2 years, he hasn't been around the organization. He's let the front office take care. Look at the Knicks in the last 2 years. The Knicks have actually really made movement, really made ground. If they would have had their starters in the playoff, who knows what the Eastern Conference Finals would have looked like? Is that something that Trajan Langdon potentially, maybe, are they bringing him in here to do that because they believe in what he can do? And maybe Tom Gores takes a step back and just provides the cash, but to some people that understand how to use it.
I thought Tom Gores is taking like 100 steps back.
Yeah.
You don't see him.
Yeah, Arn Tellem was running the team.
Yeah.
And that's
Arn Tellem's bringing his boys in. I just don't like it's a bad mix, man.
I think it's the opposite, Bray, on this count.
Okay.
Because like I said before, you need a guy that's here, a guy that'll hold the team accountable. When they looked around and they saw Mr. Davidson sitting behind the basket, he gets there, right? But as the first quarter's starting, gets in his seat, and he's watching almost every single game. Him and his family are there, him and his wife. They're looking. The coach is looking. You're right there. These guys have no one to look at. Yeah. There's nobody holding them accountable. So this is the first president of basketball operations the Pistons have had since Stan Van Gundy. The problem with Stan was you can't be a coach and a president.
Yeah, they gave him two. You
can't be two hats. Because I thought Stan might have worked had he just coached but not been president. Like you said, Terry, he described Devin Booker and then he went elsewhere with his picks.
Right.
He can coach, man. Stan, the Van Gundys can coach.
But
they can't put a team together.
He wears on those teams, on those players.
I know.
He's got 3 years to get to him. If he doesn't do it, then he's gone.
That's true, yeah.
They tired of him.
And that's okay. If I give you 3 years and you make this team a playoff team, I'll take it.
A baby boy. This team in 3 years will not be a playoff team.
You don't think that this team can rebound in 3 years and be a playoff team?
Could, but would. They will not be a playoff team in 3 years. This ship is sunk as far as I'm concerned.
I think one of the biggest things, and we keep talking about it.
So that's it? Just disband the franchise?
No, people still showing up. They still like NBA basketball.
Nah.
I'm just saying is that they're not going to be in the playoffs in 3 years.
I'm telling you like this, the Detroit Pistons fan base, they do not still rock with the Pistons like that. I went to 4 games last year. I went to 4, maybe 5. But I went to games of people that I wanted to see. I went to Golden State.
Right.
I wanted to see Steph before it was all said and done. There was nobody in there except Golden State fans. I went to see Giannis because now you got Dame Lillard. I had never seen Dame Lillard play live. Dame Lillard, Giannis. There was nobody in the building. I went to see Nikola Jokic. I went to see the Joker play. Nobody in the building. And he gets thrown out in the first quarter. I went to see Philly. On purpose, 100%. Draymond Green did the same thing when they were here. I went to see Philly because I wanted to see Joel Embiid play.
Yeah.
Nobody showed up. These are the major names in the NBA that you would go see. Tickets aren't expensive. They
Not at all.
don't charge much. Nobody was at these games except the opposition.
You want to go
team.
to a Piston game where a lot of people are there? Go to a Toronto Raptors game.
Because they all come from Canada.
Right.
Shoot, they all busting in from Canada.
You just want to be in the building with some people. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
There's more people
Hey,
doing
is Ben
COVID.
Simmons still playing?
Man, anyway.
Stop it. Man.
How funny-
Behave yourself.
Man.
How funny was that picture that surfaced on the net where it was Alonzo Ball being guarded by Ben Simmons and they were working out? I was like, I don't want no parts of either one of those.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That had to be a hologram, bro.
It's a shame how them
Was
boys
Ben
out.
Simmons in street clothes doing that?
Right.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
is
Ben
go.
Simmons.
He was in a fashion show. That's about it.
At
for
least
Ben
Lonzo
Simmons.
gave a damn.
Look, man, we don't know what's going on with the Detroit Pistons, but I do know it is time to get a break and get in some of these sponsors. First, let's get a message from... You got that message. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. You see it over my... wrong point. There we go. There, still wrong point. There you go. Which way? That way. Planet Fitness, $10 a month is all they charge to get you in shape so you can feel good, look great, and look great doing it. Check this out. Home of the judgment-free zone. That means you can work out at your own pace. You can do it yourself. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's paying attention to you. They want you to be great. 30-minute total body workout is right there in the middle. So you don't even need a trainer. They got it right there for you, right there what to do. You just watch the clock and the machines will tell you what to do. Get in shape because your fitness is essential.
All right, and get on down there. After you get your sweat on, go on down there. Take care of your pets at Premier Pet Supply. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. That's why they are Michigan's best pet store. 13 Metro Detroit locations, and of course, 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available. And they have curbside delivery as well. Nutritionists on call for any questions you have about your pet. Give your pet the best. Don't settle for less. It's PremierPetSupply.com.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda. A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out PremierPetSupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, what up?
Les Stanford, what happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Ave, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
And shout out to the beautiful Lady Jane's girls right behind Maz, always over there working hard. But amazing is when, awesome is when a guy can get a haircut and, feel like a guy, man. And that's what Lady Jane's provides, haircuts for men. You can stop in, sit back, relax, and let one of the talented Lady Jane's girls take care of you, make you look good, and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week.
My chair feels like it wants to fall down.
Lady Jane's is wicked awesome.
Little behind the scenes musical chairs as we were trying to get back.
We back.
Grab this salad. Jennifer.
We back.
Hammer.
The Hammer in the house.
Hammer in the house. She won't be joining the show, but always good to see Hammer in the building. She is a longtime family member of ours. She's with her, is her granddaughter or niece?
Yeah, it's her granddaughter.
The Hammer's got a granddaughter?
How about that?
Where are the years going? Tom Maswell, you and I talked off air. There's something of interest.
Well, we've been whining. Yeah, we've been whining about the Pistons and how they're losing. And you threw that question: who's in better shape, the Tigers or the Pistons? Well, yesterday, Sean and we're all watching the Tiger game. Anyone that has Bally Sports, by the way. So Sean Baligian, our good friend, puts out a tweet during the Tiger game, and he's like, "I was bored. It was 7-0 game. It was a 7-0 game." And he decided to look back at the last 10 years of Detroit sports, with records and playoff appearances. And we're going to put that tweet up for you. Let's leave it up there for a bit. And we're going to start you with this. The Detroit Red Wings, 323 wins, 460 losses, 2 playoffs, 1 and done. The Pistons, 287 wins, 507 losses, 2 playoffs, 1 and done.
Both first round.
The Tigers, 613 wins, and 812 losses. That's almost 200 losses more. No playoffs. And the Lions, who knew that they'd be the best? They're still underdog, though. 74, 87, and 2. 2 big playoff wins and an NFC championship loss in the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's tough.
Terry, let me ask you this question before we get into who's the worst and blah, blah, blah.
And is there hope?
Because they all suck. The city of Detroit sports in the last 10 years has sucked. How does a whole city get to this point? Like, how do you get to a point where now the Lions, then they're no longer in that space, we believe. But how does it get all 4 major teams just can't win, don't make playoffs, aren't in contention for championships? It's just they're in the league. That's about it.
Here's what happened here in Detroit. For the most part, these teams are on a roll.
This is a great sports city.
Then.
It used to be.
So we've seen greatness. We've seen the 2004 Pistons, the 2005 Pistons who went to the NBA Finals. We've seen greatness from the Wings. But what happened, in my mind, is they all went through a rebuild or a patient rebuild. They brought in guys who were like, okay, we're going to get you back to the top, but we're going to take our time. And that's why you're seeing this thing. And with the Tigers,
is it just
there's no urgency?
I don't want to ask this and be insensitive to it.
No, be insensitive.
But Tom, is it death? Is it death? If we're being honest, Mike Ilitch passes away, and now Chris Ilitch takes over the team. Mr. Davidson passes away. His wife sells the team to Tom Gores. It seems like that's when Tigers as well as the Pistons disappeared. You look at the Red. What happened to Red Wings? Scotty Bowman retired. Are we going to blame that on Scotty retiring?
Right. That's
what it seems like.
It does seem that, but if you go to the Lions side, Mr. Ford passing away, and something. Well, now they're better than they were when he was alive. God rest his soul. I mean, it started from day one with him when he signed for the Lions. You remember the day he signed on the dotted line was the assassination of John F. Kennedy, November 22nd, 1963. He comes out of the place. He just signed. He's like, "What the hell is everybody? Where's everyone?" It happened to be that day. So let's face it, man. We're in a bad hole. We are in a bad hole. And then if you go to the state of Texas and you look at all their riches that they have. They had the Houston Astros, now morph into the Texas Rangers. They had the Dallas Stars. They always have the Cowboys. They have the Mavericks playing good basketball as well. Yeah. I mean, there's so many teams, so many cities out there that have kind of taken over. We had a good run, didn't we? We had a damn good run.
My childhood was great.
Yeah.
My childhood was great. I had the Wings. I had the Pistons when I was a kid. Then
The
when I was
Tigers
in
were
college, I had to
fabulous.
go on to work.
Yep.
The
Tigers were
great
fabulous
when I was in
for
college.
10 years.
But what do you hear in this town?
Word.
The Lions will never win as long as the Fords own it.
Right.
You notice Sheila
Drop their
Ford
last
Hamp-
name.
She doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't
Right.
go. She goes
dropped
by
it-
Sheila Hamp.
Yeah.
So maybe they were right.
They were. But I'm just looking at all these numbers, and they're pretty scary numbers, man. Look at the Tigers. 613 and 812 in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
That's bad, man. And now they're 6 games under 500. And guess what? They got the White Sox coming in, which should be an even match. Then you got the Phillies. Then you got to wait and go play the Dodgers. I mean, look out below. Look out below.
Yeah.
We were talking about this too, T. Foss. Speaking of Rail Wings, so let's just talk about all the Detroit sports teams at this point. Steve Eisenman comes in 5 years ago. 5 years ago. 5 years is gone, come and gone. Still haven't made the playoffs yet. We're trusting the Heiser plan. We're waiting to get the right pick. When is it going to be time to say, you know what? I know you're Stevie Y. I know you're number 19. But the deadline's due.
But once again, this is a guy that can use patience because he knew he had time. They should have been in the playoffs this year. The rules were so archaic. They had more wins than was it Philadelphia?
Yeah.
So, but they didn't get in because they didn't have enough regulation wins. I mean, that doesn't make sense. You either
It's
win,
hockey.
huh?
It's the NHL.
Yeah,
That's supposed to make sense.
The Wings, if they were in
NHL
any,
doesn't make sense. It's
in
two
any-
different type of
in
overtimes.
Any
in hockey.
other league would have been in the playoffs this year.
Right. And they were on a high note.
Right.
Yeah. Who knows what they could have done?
Speaking of hockey, T. Foss, we've been talking about the Oilers, Edmonton Oilers. They making a comeback. Game 6 is 3-2. They won the last 2 games, and last game they won in phenomenal fashion. Well, at least the first 2 periods they did. Second period was all the Florida Panthers. Do you believe in Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers? Do they really have a chance, or did they just win 2 and Florida's going to win and close it out now?
Florida probably won it in 7. But
So you think Edmonton wins this one tomorrow, Game 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not? They're home. They are playing good hockey. But what was happening in this series, I think Edmonton all along was playing pretty well. But what happened was when they got the puck in Florida's zone, it's like Florida put like a trench coat on top of them and just
They smothered
wouldn't
them.
let them. They smothered. They wouldn't let them do anything. But I think Connor McDavid obviously is the real deal.
Yeah, yeah.
He's going to have multiple cups in his life. And when he looks back at this series, he's going to look at this as that learning experience. As so many teams or so many players or so many superstars get. You don't win it right away. You get your ass handed to you.
Yeah, like Yzerman.
Right. But this is going to be him learning how to win.
We'll have Sean McDonough on tomorrow, the play-by-play voice for the ABC, and one of the best in the business. But
Yeah, he is.
here's the flip-flop of this whole series. It's the goaltending. Stuart Skinner is standing on his head, and he's acting like a Conn Smythe winner now for Edmonton. Meanwhile, the guy that was going to win the Conn Smythe for Florida, Sergei Bobrovsky, he's like Swiss cheese. He has completely lost his way in the last 2.5 games.
Even his saves are shaky.
Yeah. He is very shaky right now, and I bet you might see a goalie change coming up tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Game 6 in Edmonton. They had to travel 2,500 miles to get to that place, and then the force of Game 7, they got to go 2,500 miles back to Sunrise, Florida. That would be Sunday night. So I'm hoping it'll be 7, but I want to see another great game. Like Game 5 was one of the best hockey games I've seen in years. It was so much fun, up and down the ice. It was great. Ken Holland's still alive for that elusive Stanley Cup since he's left Detroit.
I tell you like this, whoever wins this Stanley Cup deserves it. Because I'm going to tell you, when I played in Seattle, Seattle's the furthest team north in the NFL, excuse me.
Sure.
Furthest city. Anywhere you go is 2 hours. Anywhere you go is 2 hours. And we played the Miami Dolphins one time, and they didn't fly early. So that technically you were flying on a Friday. So you get that Saturday to kind of game time, whatever. Flew in Saturday, man. We were so sluggish. We were so dead by the time the game started. We didn't have anything. It was time zones over. That was just one game. I can only imagine having to do that back and forth
something?
for a whole Stanley Cup final. So whoever wins this, they definitely earned that cup. I will tell you that.
Now, Terry, do you think, honestly, this is a question everyone asks, but the Stanley Cup playoffs, do you find them to be the best playoffs of all, let's say, of the big four sports? We'll go around the room on this.
Yes and no. Here's the yes. I know every game is going to be 2-2 heading into, 10 minutes left in the third period, and it's going to be tight. But the thing I don't like about the Stanley Cup, I mean, you shoot something off somebody's ass and it goes in the net and you win 3-2 or something.
Right.
So there's that puck luck.
Sure.
But for the most part, yes, I'm fascinated by it. Anytime you carry the puck into the offensive zone, you can score. And the one thing that I like about Florida does put the blanket over Edmonton, but they fast break the other way.
Yeah.
And they don't get credit for that. And so I like that. The other thing, and I'm finding stuff I don't like, in the NHL playoffs, your superstars are not highlighted like they are in the NBA. I mean,
yeah, because you could take them out of a game.
You could take them out of a game. You don't get preferential treatment, and maybe sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
In the NBA, you're going to get preferential treatment.
So how would you rank the playoffs? Let's go 1 through 4. NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball, and
I'm still going to
NBA.
go NHL 1.
Okay.
NFL 2.
Okay.
NBA 3.
Ooh.
And baseball 4.
Wow. All right, Bray, you're up, man.
4 and 3, you can interchange them because at the end of the day, somebody gets hot, you can win. If your team gets hot, you got the bats, you got the pitching, you can win the World Series, like 100%. We've seen that happen. You saw
I'm saying the hardest playoff to win.
And that's
that's a different question.
And the most enjoyable
question.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said the hardest. I said baseball, if you get hot, you can roll through the playoffs. So that's 4 or 3. Basketball, if you get hot at the right time, look at the Heat last year. Yeah. The Heat almost won it. Well, they didn't almost win, but the Heat got to the finals just because they got hot at the right time and they were shooting. So basketball, baseball, 3, 4, wherever you want to put them. NHL 2, NFL 1.
Really?
The hardest.
Yeah, NFL.
Because that was a different question than I was asked.
That's a different question.
What was the question then?
You asked me what was the most enjoyable. You tell Biscuit Head, ask Biscuit Head over here, what's the hardest?
I mean, look, maybe I'm biased because I played football, but I think the NFL is the hardest. Look, we can take outliers out of the picture. Take Tom Brady out the picture, what they did, the New England Patriots. They were in a soft East for a very long time. It was a different brand of football. They bought into Bill Belichick. And then Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes is great. It is what it is. Take those outliers out. It's tough to win the NFL. Look at teams when they win the Super Bowl. Look how many teams fall off that next season. It's hard to keep guys on the roster. It's hard to get back to that point. It's going to be tough for the Lions to get back to the NFC Championship. I know we keep talking about how good this team is and the moves were right and the draft was right. That's what we think.
Exactly. Injury can derail the whole thing.
Just like the Lions got better, guess what? A lot of other teams got better too. So I think the NFL 1, NHL 2, I would say NBA 4, baseball 3.
And I think of all the sports, when you win in the NFL, you really get punished. You got
the following year.
Because guys want money. You can't pay everybody. You got to let somebody go.
Schedule.
The Chiefs didn't even look like a playoffs team.
Yeah, they
10 weeks into the season last year.
They backdoored
after they won it. They didn't even look like a playoff team. Yeah. They figured it out, but they didn't look like one at the time. So.
How about you, Kenny? What's your order?
From a competitive standpoint, I got to go NHL first, but I agree the NFL playoffs is one and done. You know, anything can happen.
Man, what?
I would say NFL 2. Like you said, 3 and 4 is interchangeable. I'll go NBA playoffs 3 and baseball 4.
No other sport, I think, if your star player, like if your quarterback gets hurt in the NFL, it's a rap sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, with the exception of what Nick Foles did in Philadelphia in 2017, outlier.
Don't forget Hostetler.
If you're for the Giants, the Giants with Phil Simms. If your quarterback gets hurt outside of those 2 cases, and maybe Doug Williams, it's a rap sheet.
Yep.
It's a rap sheet. like name another sport where I guess. Basketball,
it can still happen, but it's
I'm sticking with what I said.
You can win with a backup goalie. I mean, you're not going to win over 7 games, but if it's in the middle of a series, you just need him for a couple games. You can win with a backup goalie.
I'll rank them in hardest order. I'll say hockey's the hardest to win.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think baseball is number 2.
Really?
You play 162 games, then you got to play 4 rounds of playoffs. I think it's hard. Football would be 3, NBA would be 4. Most enjoyable to me would be tie NHL and baseball, then football, then NBA.
Baseball's 2.
That's crazy.
Baseball, I sit at the edge of my seat. How many times do I got to remind you of the
and I love
playoffs?
baseball. We watch. Yeah,
You sit at the edge of your freaking seat.
That's true, but we sat up here and said that if the Tigers could get in the playoffs, they have the pitching to win a series. That just shows you how easy it is to win. With
the first
offense,
series
they can win.
Yeah, Ken, the first
in the
series.
playoffs.
The first series. They
I get
can't
that,
win.
yeah.
They can't win a 7-game series.
Yeah, I get
they can
that.
win a
I get
3-game
that.
series, not a 7.
Even still, you can advance.
The Rangers last year got hot at the right time and won the World Series. The Atlanta Braves the year before that got hot at the right time and won the World Series. They didn't even have 3 of their starters. They had to patchwork their outfield to win that year, man. How many guys got hurt off the Brave squad?
A ton. They won. They won without what's his
Acuna.
name? Yeah, Acuna.
And they went and got old boy who had just won with the Cubs. The Cubs bought him over there. So baseball is my favorite sport when I was a kid, but I just think
It's easier to win in baseball. All you got to do is bang on garbage cans.
Yeah, that's true.
put
Forgot about
the
that.
rally caps on.
Don't forget the electronics under your jersey like Altuve had.
Hey, man, they were cheating there. Willie Mays passed on. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, but I wanted to hear Terry about it.
Yeah, 100%. T. Foster, your thoughts on Willie Mays, the great.
Is he the greatest of all time?
Yes. Willie Mays, when he came through, he was the Michael Jordan of baseball. Very athletic, hit for average, 660 home runs. Anything that was hit to center field, he's going to catch. And he was, I tell you what, he was the greatest, probably the greatest athlete of that time in baseball. And he just made spectacular plays. But it wasn't just
hard. It was only 5 black guys. And he had
I know.
I'm joking.
Bringing it. No, you're not joking. You serious about it?
No,
I hear you.
I'm joking.
No, but he changed the game. And you know what? He missed 2 years because of the Army. Think about where
Ted Williams
he would be.
Ted Williams did that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't serve. Ted Williams, DiMaggio did it as well.
Yep.
That's never going to happen again. We could get in the biggest war in the world. Our star players are not going
Not
over
anymore.
there.
Heck no.
Mm-mm.
But did you see they did that thing now where it's they're making it 18 to 24. They can automatically enlist you.
Yeah.
Now
crazy.
you saw that?
Mm-hmm.
18 to 24.
Are you kidding?
100%. 18 to 24. I gotta get the particulars on it, but I did. See
Everybody?
something. I mean, well, you ain't 24, so what does it matter?
Right.
Well, I'm just asking a question.
Oh,
That's all.
I believe so. Unless you're in that space where they're like, no, Shohei.
I got a son who's 22.
He sign him up.
He might get drafted.
Sign him up. Also, Maz, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ray.
I was going to ask him about the Negro Leagues, how they're now.
That's what I was going to do.
Oh, then you guys go ahead. Go ahead. Facilitate that.
Tonight's the game. It's the history of the. Well, it's a celebration of the Negro Leagues, and of course, now the statistics from the Negro Leagues are included in Major League Baseball. Willie Mays was supposed to be there tonight. Fox has got this game on starting at 5:30. They got a big pregame show. First pitch is at 7. It's going to be the San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals. Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama. I want to show you the promo that Fox shot for this game. It's a beauty. I'm looking forward to this game tonight. Willie Mays was supposed to be there, and just a couple days ago, he penned a letter explaining how much he'll be watching it from home. He wished he could have been there. So obviously he had failing health at the time, and he passed away peacefully at his home just a couple of days ago with his family. So
and what is sad, obviously, that he's not going to be there. But the good news is this is going to be a tribute to Willie Mays, and he really deserves that.
No question about it. And everyone has got a moment of silence that they've had for Willie Mays, number 24. Will be on the San Francisco Giants uniforms. He's, of course, the godson, the godfather to Barry Bonds. Barry loved him. There's a great picture of little Barry sitting next to him in the dugout. And Bobby Bonds was one of my favorite players. His dad, Barry's dad, growing up. I loved that era of baseball. It was just fantastic. I'm mad at myself because our good friend Rogelio Castillo, who's a huge baseball fan, I gave him my Negro Leagues jersey. I had the New York Cubans jersey, and I know he was such a fan. I brought it in and gave it to him. Otherwise, I'd be wearing it today. And you should have been wearing yours today. You could have the Detroit Stars
I should
on
have.
today.
I have two.
You got the Barons?
I have the Detroit
Grays when I was
Stars
younger.
and the Kansas City Monarchs.
The Monarchs.
Satchel
That's
Paige.
Satchel Paige, man.
Didn't he win Rookie of the Year at 40?
What amazing player.
He won MLB Rookie of the Year.
Well, they wouldn't let him in.
We do
Now,
know that.
Maz,
Yeah.
I've talked to a number of white guys
Yeah.
who say they will not wear a Negro League jersey.
Oh, wow.
Not
How
because
silly.
they said they don't deserve to wear it. I said, wear it.
Yeah. We don't deserve to wear any
display
jersey.
it.
That was going left.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you wear yours.
God, yeah. I wore my
Okay.
New York Cubans with pride and my Detroit Stars.
All right, good.
I should have worn one today. I'm mad at myself that I didn't.
Here's a good question.
Should have reminded me.
Since we're talking about favorite leagues and favorite this and what does that, which league honors their icons the best?
It ain't football.
Or like you ain't lying
baseball
about that.
either.
Or like honors them. So you're talking about Willie Mays, Babe Ruth. His name comes up all the time.
Yeah.
Which league honors their former stars of the past the most?
I think it's baseball.
I think yeah.
Yeah, because baseball,
It's romantic.
It's still romanticized.
Yeah.
Not as much as it was before, but
Right.
there's always tributes. I mean, look at Comerica Park. Look all the statues they have out there in center field.
That's
You
true.
know,
but
Willie Horton, who played 1,000,000 years ago, is still a hero in this town. He's still honored by the Tigers on occasion.
Al Kaline.
So, and Al Kaline, right?
That video we just played, it gave me like the chills, the music and the pictures. And Anthony Patterson on the chat says, "Hey, I feel like I'm going to heaven listening to that." I mean, I got the chills listening to that thing. I watched it probably 50 times already. Every time I watch it, Pete comes in and starts talking to me. I have to keep starting it over again.
Football is my favorite. Football is my favorite sport now. Baseball was when I was growing up, but it's something about baseball. And I think it started with we call it Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
Yep.
And I think baseball movies. Look, I love all movies. I love Mighty Ducks hockey. I love Major League Baseball. I love football movies, the program, Any Given Sunday, basketball movies, Blue Chips, and the list goes on. There's something about baseball movies, though, man. Field of Dreams is great. For the Love of the Game is one of my favorite movies. Major League is probably,
Even Sandlot was good.
Sandlot was great. It's something about baseball movies, man. They know how to dial in and tap into that, the music, the score.
The natural.
And like you
True,
said,
and always the hero in baseball always has sex.
Oh my God.
Think about it. In basketball,
what was the
love
great
in basketball, they had sex. But for the most part, they're just playing the game. And they're telling the
What movie?
story.
Which Kevin Costner with Susan Sarandon.
Right. They were
That's
getting
all
it
she
on.
was doing. Bull Durham.
Right.
He was mad. What
Tim
was-
Meadows.
Hey, that's another great movie. Dang, Kevin Costner's got 3 baseball movies.
He's all right.
Baseball guy,
He's
man.
living good, man.
Let's stick with baseball, man. Let's take a quick commercial break. We got to pay some bills out here, but let's stick with baseball because there's another topic you got on here, man, that I want to explore a little bit. But first, we'll get a message from KDK.
That's me, KDK Law, folks. Let me tell you about it. Dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues? Well, Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. 10 plus years of experience and 24/7 availability. Scan the QR code on the screen or call them today at 248-971-0444. 888-848-8276. Say Woodward Sports sent you, and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back.
What does that black and yellow sign tell you? It tells you to do one thing. Stay out. That's right. Guardian Alarm. Customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night. And know that Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people.
What?
Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. That's right. Call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's right. Call 1-800.
Stay
out.
Call today and tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back.
All right.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
On my way to work today, I passed a place called Soroki's and I almost pulled over and got that Nashville hot because it is back. It is hot, but then I would have been late to work. But you should try it right now. Popping up all over metropolitan Detroit, Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza. And now, for a limited time, the Nashville hot is back. The chicken tender sandwich, the tenders, the fries, and the pizza. And if that's not your style, just get the crispy biscuits. Just get those biscuits. I say it again. Just get those biscuits. And then the salad and the sides are always fresh. Come enjoy the delicious heat at Soroki's. Dr. Jeff Pierce.
Oh, Dr. Jeff Pierce, guys. Hey, attention sports fans, anyone watching Woodward Sports, this means you. Don't miss an episode. Don't miss any time that the expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of the Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy, Thursdays right here on Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice and some great stories to boot. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. It's Dr. Jeff Pierce. He's here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. Dr. Pierce will be on with us about a half an hour from now.
I haven't said this in a very long time, but Big D Energy is a hell of a name.
Yeah.
I remember when I first came here, we were trying to pick the name for the show, man. We were sitting down, Big D Energy already existed. It was like, that's a cold name right there.
Yeah,
I gotta
it
get
is.
them a lot of it. Tune in 11-2-1. Neil
Yes,
Rube does
sir.
a hell of a job. Big D Energy, D Max on their show as
Number
well.
one,
KG
number
is
one
on that
ball
show as
busting
well.
show on the network.
100%. You know
Number
Neil
one.
Rube. One thing about the pause, he will bust your ball. Before we get into the next topic, which I'm very intrigued about, how are you with hyphenated names? Because I was listening to this recently. Hyphenated names, women not taking their husbands' names now. You know, it's a little modern. Women aren't dropping their names, if you will. Are you for it, Terry Foster, or are you more traditional? Or are you like, hey, whatever works for people?
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. Because
Okay.
sometimes if your name helps you professionally,
Like if you're Oprah Winfrey, like you're
Yeah.
not getting Stedman's last name.
yeah, you're not gonna be Oprah Stedman.
This is
No,
true.
so I have no problem with it. I mean, I understand people like tradition and everything. I don't believe in all traditions.
Yeah.
Just because you did it 100 years ago doesn't mean you need to do it today.
Yeah.
And I've learned, and mostly I've learned this from my children, the world has changed.
Yeah.
My world has changed. There's certain words I can't say. There's certain things I can't do that I could as a youth.
Well,
So
shoot,
the
10
world
years
has
ago.
changed.
You can't say
Change.
new things you could do 10 years ago.
Right.
Tom Mazaway, you got daughters, and
I
they will.
do.
You have 3 lovely daughters. Shout out to all of them.
4 sisters.
They will be. This is true. You are surrounded by estrogen.
You know it.
They will be getting married. What
God
say
willing.
you?
I don't mind. I would love them to keep the Mazaway name alive and do a slash, a dash with their husband's name. So my sister does that. She's a lawyer, so she's Jennifer Mazaway Vanoski.
Okay.
My other sister Susan's in the fashion business. She is Susan Mazaway Solano.
Yeah.
So my other 2 sisters, they took their husbands' names. But my daughters, like Terry said, whatever floats your boat. It would be a nice homage to your family
Sure.
name to keep it.
I mean, let's look at Taylor Swift. Is she going to become Taylor's Kelsey?
Hell no.
No.
She paid the bills in that relationship.
Mhm.
Right. KZ, what about you, man? When you get married,
Yeah.
will your wife have your last name? Is that something that's mandatory for you, or are you open to whatever?
Well, I'm open to it. I want her to take my last name, but I'm in agreement with the dash, man. Just throw it on there. It's her life. It's her name. You know, if that's what she want to do, if she want to keep her family name alive, who am I to say no? You know, so we've discussed that, and yeah, we're going to be green dash honor. So
Okay. Power Neck in the booth over there. What say you, James? Are you for, against, or are you, whatever?
I mean, I guess I'm an old school guy. I guess like would want her to, but if it's something where she's got a particular affinity for her family name, I wouldn't hate it. I got nothing against it, but yeah, man. I mean, it'd be cool. Part of getting married is taking on last name, coming one flesh, man.
Yeah, 100%. I guess.
What made you think of that?
I heard the conversation. It's an interesting one. Obviously, I'm in a relationship, and any real relationship, you hope at the end, marriage is what you get into. So that's come up, and me, I want my wife to have my last name. I want Brittany's last name to be Edwards. She would have to convince me
It's a
otherwise.
great last name.
100%. But at the same time, look, you get married. That means you love somebody. Compromise is about the relationship.
What if she wanted you to take her last name?
So the next subject is which MLB record is most impressive, Tom Mazaway? Put that up there. And
Once again, his name is his calling card.
That's it.
You can't become Braylon Thompson.
yeah, Braylon Thompson doesn't have any records.
Right.
Like
Braylon
Braylon
Edwards
Thompson
isn't
isn't going into the
But that's an athletic name,
Can't
though.
put that out there yet. It's not out yet.
It's still an athletic name, though.
It is. Her last name is dope one, Coleman. Like, I mean, hyphenated, I guess. If you want to do Coleman Edwards or something like that, I mean, it is what it is.
All right.
Be
At the end
honest,
of the day,
bro.
just get married, figure it out.
Be
then.
honest.
Just figure it out then.
Anyway.
we'll cross that bridge when we
Since
get
I've been baseball oriented, well, I love it, first of
Edwards,
all.
by the
But
way.
when Willie Mays passed away, I'm like, man, he's had so many records. And like I told you yesterday, he's got 7 records in the books that players only have 3 of those 7 records that he has ever done. The things he's accomplished, he's accomplished 7 different items on his big history list. Other players out of those 7 have only gotten 3 at the most. So to me, he is an unbelievable, probably the greatest player of all time. So I found this and I wanted to put it up. And these are all the baseball records. And they're all fantastic. So Braylon, one at a time, read them slow, and let's go over them.
All right, here we go. The Iron Man, Cal Ripken Jr., 2,632 consecutive games played. I remember when he got that record too.
Yep.
That was a big thing at Camden Yard. Camden, right?
You bet.
Yeah, 100%.
Remember you went around the whole stadium.
100%.
Shaking hands, slapping five with everybody.
Cal Ripken Jr. was one of them dudes I always liked. Like, he's one of them cats, like, I respected his game, always liked. I remember his last All-Star game. I think he got the home run to win it. I remember that as well. Cal Ripken I wish he would have got a World Series win. Like, he's one of those players, like, I wish Barkley would have got a ring. I wish Cal Ripken Jr. would have got a ring. Joe DiMaggio also dated Marilyn Monroe back in the day. A little fun fact. 56-game hitting streak.
That's tough.
That was amazing. I remember that picture, the infamous video of him stepping through the 5-6. Earl Hershiser. That's a hell of a name.
The Bulldog.
Right, hell of a name.
59 consecutive scoreless innings
Wow.
pitched.
That's
Just thinking that in today's game, 59 consecutive scoreless innings pitched. Ricky Henderson, 130 stolen bases in 1982 season. My favorite player when I was a kid.
What a thief.
Like, what in a good way. Like, he was my favorite player in the league. He can do it all.
And he loved talking in the third person. In the first person.
He
loved that. Ricky Henderson loves that.
Ricky doesn't like that.
Yeah, Ricky doesn't like that.
And then the man that should be in the Hall of Fame,
The hit
we
king.
know why he isn't. Pete Charlie Hustle
we know why.
Rose, 4,256 career hits.
Start with Terry.
That's
Kate,
tough.
Terry, we'll start with you. Which one of these is most impressive?
Now, is what's most impressive or the one that's not going to be broken?
Most impressive.
Okay. The most impressive
You can
to
do a
me,
slash. Will not be broken.
Okay. Here's the one that won't be broken, and it's
Home
not the
runs.
most impressive.
It's Barry Bonds.
It's the Iron Man.
Right.
The Iron Man award.
That'll
because
never be touched.
We were talking about how life has changed.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to allow somebody to play 162 games. You're going to get days off. They're going to rest you, blah, blah. So that one is the one that won't be broken. But to me, that's not the most impressive.
Nah.
I'm going to go Pete Rose. 4,192 hits.
42-56 for Pete Rose.
Yeah.
So that's the most impressive.
Yes.
And the one that won't be broken is Cal Ripken.
Yes, because our things have changed. Our society has changed.
Right.
No doubt.
KG, we'll go with you.
To me, it's a two-horse race. It's between Joe DiMaggio and Oral Hershiser. Is that how you say that?
The Bulldog.
Because 56 straight games of hitting. It's so hard to hit in the MLB. Like, you can hit and it can easily be an out. So 56 games of getting, putting the ball in play, that's very impressive. And then 59 scoreless. I mean, come on now. That's
tough.
That's tough.
You know what? Can I forgive my young friend over here?
Go ahead.
He watches too much Tiger baseball. A 5-game hitting streak is impressive in his mind.
But you go out there and hit for 56 straight games and let me know how that go for you.
Didn't that one rookie have 32 consecutive hitting streak to start his career, but then they played him on one of the outs?
Yeah.
I mean, that was 32.
That was
recently.
early. Early in the season.
But my point is, just hitting the ball, you never know where it might go. So for you to be putting it in play 56 straight times, that's pretty dope, man. But I think if I had to pick, I'm going Oral Hershiser to 59 scoreless. That's
what's
tough.
funny about this day and age, and I was listening to what KG just say. He said, you're hitting the ball, you never know what's going to go. That's current baseball. Back in the day, they knew where that ball was going when they hit it. Just ask Tony Gwynn about that.
Yeah.
Tom Mazaway,
Yeah.
your turn. Oh, you want to go last?
I don't mind.
Okay.
Terry hit it on the head.
Yeah.
With the first one. Cal Ripken's record, which was Lou Gehrig's record, will never be touched again.
Yeah.
You can't play.
Is it the most impressive?
It's called, well, I said it won't be broke. I didn't say it's the most impressive. I said it won't be broke. 2,632 consecutive games played.
AC Green.
Now you got, you sit out. What's the rule? The LeBron rule? What do they call it?
Load management.
No, load management. You got load management. That ain't going to happen. To me, the most impressive is it's Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hit streak. 56 straight games to get a hit.
Yeah, Terry.
And then he didn't get a hit and came back, and I forgot how many hits he had in a row after that.
Like 30 or something?
He was amazing. Just an amazing hitter. That's a hell of a record, man.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I put that on top.
Here's a quick question for you. I know you're a Yankees fan. You're a New York guy yourself, the Bronx Bombers, as they were called. Who had the coolest name as a Yankee? Because Joe DiMaggio has always been my favorite. DiMaggio's always been my favorite Yankee name. And Mickey Mantle's a great one. I mean, Babe Ruth's a great one. You got Jeter. But what's the best Yankee name? Is it DiMaggio? Yogi Berra?
It's up there. I put Mariano Rivera right up there with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll put Mario. I'll put the
sound like
Sandman
you
up there, baby.
Into
Put the Sandman up there, Mariano Rivera.
Think
Hey,
about it, man.
man.
Some dude's name is Yogi.
Yeah,
How can you top that?
pretty cool.
Hey, boo boo. My name is
Hey,
Yogi.
Yogi.
Get in the basket. All right, you're up, Power Neck. What do you have? What is the most impressive, and then also what is it most impressive, and which one won't be broken? You can give two.
Okay, I'll say Cal Ripken's won't be broken. You got to remember that's a 17 season straight of playing consecutive games, 154 game season back then. So that's over 2,000 games played. So 17 straight seasons without missing a game. I don't even think that will be ever replicated. And then I think you have to look at the consistency of Pete Rose. Again, I'm picking probably more consistency, right?
Yeah.
Because, DiMaggio's and Oral's impressive, and even Ricky's, but it's all in one season. You can't just have one great season. You look at Pete's, that's over the course of a career.
Good call, James.
So I think it's hard to put that, I don't think Pete's record will ever be broken either.
First of all, can we talk about how outstanding that was right there by James?
That was really well done.
He broke it down. He talked about the 154 season. He talked. Bravo, my brother.
Yes.
Bravo, my brother. Well done, James.
He's got a future.
Well, he does. Yeah, he has a great one. He's got some things going on, man. You're gonna be hearing from James in the future. I promise you that. Good catch right there. My turn. I mean, you guys have all hit it on the head. I think all these are impressive. That's why they're on this list. I think most of them are unbreakable. So, either one is going to be right. With me, I'm going with what I used to do. Ricky Henderson. I like Ricky Henderson. Last year, Ronald Acuna Jr. had 32 stolen bases, and everybody praised him like he did something special. Ricky had 130 stolen bases. He's literally accounting for a run a game. A running game almost. So I'm going with my man Ricky Henderson. I think that was my most impressive. But all these feats are ridiculous. Like Charlie Rose, Charlie Hustle, 4,256 career hits, insane. 56 game hitting streak, insane. Like you said,
That ain't going to be a hit either.
none of these are
The
getting
top and the bottom, too. The top and the bottom won't be touched.
Acuna Jr. had 32 stolen bases last year, lead the majors.
Yeah.
Ricky had 130.
Amazing.
Unless your boy Ella De La Cruz,
Hell yeah.
he's stolen some bases, but I don't know about 130.
He might get up to 100 at max. At max.
He get that many? Where's he at
Not
now?
132.
I gotta look and see where he's at. He's a hell of a player.
But you know what? Baseball will probably morph into some more specialists. So they'll get some track dude to bat lead off for some team down the future. And
Wesley Snipes.
Then he'll swipe a bunch of bases.
Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
The Pistons are not going to get.
Not the Pistons again.
They're not going to get.
Breaking news.
They're not going to get JJ Redick.
Oh darn!
We got breaking news.
He signed a 4-year deal a few minutes ago with the Los Angeles Lakers. Rob Pelinka offered him the deal this morning. Redick took it, and he's now assembling his squad,
Good luck
his
to him.
assistant coaches
It
together.
just goes
So-
to show you, whenever LeBron James is hanging around somebody, he's gonna be a teammate, he'll be a coach, etc. You saw the podcast. Once they launched the podcast, let me ask you this, T. Was that fair? Nothing LeBron does is fair, but your coach, Darvin Ham, is on the hot seat, and in the middle, as soon as your season's over, you start a podcast with JJ Redick, somebody that is maybe trying to get into coaching. You start a podcast, and it's not just like our podcast, or it's not like the podcast that you see with these guys, and they're just telling stories or breaking it down from that perspective. They're breaking down game, strategy, analytics, things that Darvin Ham isn't necessarily doing, or people have said he's not necessarily doing. Was that fair for him to do that?
No, it was irresponsible.
Yeah, I think so too.
To do that. First of all, you are calling out your coach. You're saying that Darvin Ham is not good enough.
Yeah.
And very rarely in sports do I hear somebody calling out the coach. Even if the coach stinks, is having a bad stretch, he says, well, he's trying hard, and that's my guy. I support him.
Not LeBron.
That's not support. And then, lo and behold, J.J. Redick is now the Lakers coach.
Tom, I come to you on this one. J.J. Redick takes over. He's now the coach.
Finally, the Lakers have a coach.
What's it going to look like for the Los Angeles Lakers and J.J. Redick and LeBron James this coming season?
Well, LeBron's got a couple years left to make another run, another championship run. They're a mess. They didn't make the playing game last year. Remember, they beat the Pelicans and wound up getting the Nuggets, and the Nuggets took care of business in was it 4 or 5 games that the Nuggets knocked out the Lakers?
4.
Yeah.
5.
Oh, fine. They won
was
game
it a 5
3.
game sweep?
Yeah.
Another
They won
5 game
3,
sweep.
so.
We're real famous around here for 5-game
Yeah,
sweeps.
5 game sweeps. The Lakers are involved in a lot of 5-game sweeps.
Right.
Anyway, I don't see them getting much better than last year. The West is where it's at. Although the Celtics sitting on a championship, they're sitting on top right now. But they got to beat teams like the Nuggets again, who have their number. And then you got the Minnesota Timberwolves waiting in the wings as well. I don't think the Lakers are going to be much of anything, really. I think they're going to be in a complete rebuild here within 2 years.
All right, buddy boy, I got a question for you. When the Lakers play next year, who's during timeouts? Who's going to hold the clipboard? J.J. Redick or LeBron James?
You know who it is.
Share duties.
You know who it is.
I think they'll
You know
share
what?
duties.
Maybe they'll do a podcast during the game.
Oh,
together.
they can do that.
There
right?
you go.
Now
There you go.
cooking with
There
grease.
you
There you go.
That podcast is going to last until the first argument.
Mm-hmm.
To the first argument on the court, and that podcast is no more.
Now, this guy might be. He might be the answer for them. We don't know. He might be the answer, or he might be the next Matt Millen.
The only issue I think players are going to have with J.J. Redick as a coach, and this is beyond LeBron, because he'll be coaching beyond LeBron James and AD in this year.
Hopefully.
He is super, 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 super driven by analytics. Like every comment that comes out of J.J. Redick's mouth has something to do with analytical data supporting what he does. And listen, I understand analytics does play a part in Major League Sports. Like it's been here for a while now. You deal with it. A lot of it does work for you. It helps you out a little bit. But not every detail, every facet, and every strategy you choose. Analytics, that's where I think it's going to rub a lot of players the wrong way.
It probably will. And sometimes when you follow analytics too deeply, it leads you into a deep, dark hole that could ruin your franchise.
I was watching something. I was watching Shane Battier on a podcast with UD. That actually was a good one. Udonis Haslem does a podcast with Mike Miller, and Shane Battier was on there. They played, obviously, for the Heat for those years. They were talking about Shane Battier was dialed into analytics, and he will only operate by the analytics.
Wow.
Talking about guarding Kobe. He said, if you force him left, he said, look, he's 20% over here. He's 62% over here. He said, but Shane, he's got 30. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I gotta stick
He gonna
with
miss the left-handed
I gotta
one,
stick with the left hand. You gotta force him over here, so that's gonna be good. Why don't we take a quick commercial break? Why don't we change topics? We talked enough about MLB. We've talked enough about the NBA. How about we switch to talk a little NFL?
Let's do
But
it.
first, pay a couple of bills, and let's get a message from Wake Up Woodward.
Hey, you know what it is.
Hey,
Wake
G,
up,
Black
Woodward.
Hollywood.
Yes, sir. Woodward Sports has a new morning show, not so new, but y'all know what it is. The Woo Crew every day, 8 to 10, Monday through Friday, live on Woodward Sports. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and myself every morning as we cover all of Detroit sports talk, banter, and live fan interaction, all on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Come on, man. I know y'all tired of wearing that same crusty, dusty Detroit sports merch. Well, it's a new era in sports wearables, new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. But y'all got to go to woodwardsports.com and click shop. Hoodies, tees, hats, guaranteed to turn heads. And, of course, our featured item and bestseller, which I was, a part of, the Bood'em Kids shirt. Going crazy online right now, but you can only get it at woodwardsports.com and click shop.
Welcome back. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Ermanni and with us. Well, my man T-Falls filling in. Always good to be here with you. My mom told me to tell you hello, by the way. She said she laughed when you called me a biscuit head. I was like, oh,
I thought I got in trouble with mom when I called you a biscuit head.
She liked it.
Right.
She liked it. You keep me honest, as she likes to say. KG, part of Morning Wake Up Woodward, excuse me. Talk about the show, man. How has the development been of the show? How has the growth been? You, Kool-Aid, and my man Matt Broder.
Yeah.
What's it looking like, man? Flannel Sam a part of that as well.
Yeah. So, you only as great as the people you work around. And I just happen to work around some really great people, man. When the show first came together, it kind of came together so quickly after what happened here at the network. I was on Woodward Nights, so was Broder. They kind of disbanded that show, put us on with Kool-Aid, who was looking for his opportunity on the desk, which was well-deserved. And also JB, he's TD extraordinaire, keeps everything around here in check, man. When JB's not here, man, you know it.
I ain't gonna lie, man. It hurt when JB left, man.
It's our guy.
Man,
it hurt us.
He is
We're
that
back
guy.
on track now, but it hurt us, man.
And of course, Flannel, he was a mainstay on the morning show, especially after Adam ended up leaving and things of that nature. I think what works for our show is that we all have like chemistry. Like we all are cool outside of the show. We all vibe on different levels, but we all bring a different perspective. It's not just, all in unison, us just saying the same stuff. We all got our own opinions, but we never trample any other person's opinions.
Respect.
Exactly. And we can all express ourselves and then ultimately come together to give the fans a good show.
I like that, man. You might want to tune into that show, man. 8 to 10 o'clock, that is.
Check it out.
Tom Asway, Brittany texted me and she said Edwards for life. So I guess I don't have to worry about hyphenated names.
There you go.
The girl
buddy.
already said Edwards for life. Let's talk a little NFL. Let's go around it.
Sure. Hey, he talked about Bood'em Kids
Bood'em
T-shirt.
Kids.
He's talking about Kelly Stafford running around with her kids last year at the playoff game, and she told Matthew, "Hey, they booed our kids, Matthew."
Sure.
Guess what I just read literally a second ago?
What did you read, Tom?
She went on her podcast.
This is great.
And she said to her friend, I slept with the backup, Matthew's backup quarterback at Georgia to make him jealous.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Seriously.
She slept with the backup quarterback at Georgia when Matthew was the starter to make him jealous.
She said when they first
Here we go.
Yeah. She said when they first got together, they was on and off and things of that nature. So yeah, she dated the backup to make him jealous. Matt being the sweet guy and the backup kind of being a
being a
POS, for lack of better words. And then Matt ended up going to her car and saying like, yeah, you shouldn't be with this guy and things of that nature. But yeah, man, she gave it up to the backup.
All right, two things. First of all, I would have never married her. I don't care if they were off and on, and they were on at the time when he did that. Like, you boned my teammate, and then not only that, you boned the teammate that played my position, and not only that, you boned him to get it back at me. 100%, I wouldn't have married. That's just me.
They all stayed in the same dorm, by the way.
But it works. That's even worse.
Yeah.
What if you're in love?
No such thing. No such thing. Ain't no love strong enough for you to bone my teammate. Tell me about it. But moving on from that, this are these podcasts. This is why everybody shouldn't have a podcast. Everybody shouldn't get interviewed, because they get on these interviews, they get on these podcasts, and they get comfortable, and they just start releasing beans. You start telling stories. You want to invite people into your world. Some stuff isn't for everybody.
Yes.
That's a story. Look, Kelly Stafford does amazing work here at Beaumont and things of that nature. She has kids. She's a pillar in the community. Be that. Some things are for you and your friends, or that's for you and Matt Stafford. He knows it. Nobody else should know it.
Right.
That's just me.
I think two things happen. One, people don't think people are going to listen to the podcast. You can say anything you want.
You're
Nobody's
Kelly
going to say
Stafford.
anything.
Right.
I know. But on the other hand, sometimes you say things on podcasts to really promote that podcast. You say something ridiculous and stupid so that more people will listen to it.
She's still married to this man.
Yeah. 4 kids.
This man got teammates.
And he making $27 million a year.
So
he's in love.
He making more than that.
Yeah. Okay, he makes
40. He makes 46.
About to get an extension
47.
too,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's up there.
Okay, he's making a lot
He got an
more
extension
money.
if they won the Super Bowl. That's just my opinion. I think it's a bit much. Tom Mazaway, you tell me what you think. I may just be operating from a different standpoint.
I get it.
I think it's a bit much.
I get it, man. That's like, I don't know. I guess I can't compare myself to,
Yeah.
you know.
But
yeah.
would you marry her?
If she slept with like my best friend or something like that?
Let's say, I mean, you're the lead radio host in college.
Okay.
What if she slept with your radio partner?
Wow. That's a good point, man.
Drew. What if she slept with Drew? Get back at you.
Oh.
Mike and Drew.
It's tough, man.
That's tough.
That's a toughie, man. I might have to side with you a little.
Love don't
this.
prevail, man.
If she
Hey,
did,
look, if you're gonna do it, just let it between us and whoever else knows it.
yeah.
Right.
Don't put it out there. She's a funny girl when it
Yeah,
comes
she
to that.
put it out
She puts it all out there.
many years
I
ago.
give her
Georgia,
credit.
right?
Yeah, she was.
I give her credit for putting everything out there. I do. But
That's
that
a
One
bit
one,
who's
much.
annoyed about it is Matthew.
probably
He can't
yes.
stand when she's on
Yeah.
podcasts.
You know, his teammates are going to break his chops right
Like
now.
what?
You know, they didn't know that prior to
Right.
this.
Nobody should.
So
know
he's
that.
got to go
It's
back
just-
to camp now, and these guys are going to be like, whoa, man. And they're going to be looking up whoever that backup is. Let's look it up. Somebody here in the room,
Yep.
look up Matthew Stafford's backups at Georgia.
At Georgia.
Hey,
Let's
bro, you
figure
got
out.
a shot.
You wanna
Let's
figure
figure
out
out.
who it was?
Let's figure out who the hell she slept with.
You gotta watch them Fun Girls.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta watch it. But if she did it then, what say she not do it again?
Well, she's
I mean,
mature.
no,
they
she's
4 kids in.
She's a great wife and a mom.
She had brain cancer.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was there for
Oh, my
her.
bad.
Like, it's a whole
Oh
different
yeah, he makes
situation.
$47 million a year. My bad.
And people grow. I mean, no relationship is perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
we can look around the room. Some of the best relationships in the world
Yeah.
probably started from a rocky place. But like you said, the public don't need to know everything, man. That's something you keep in the tuck.
That's tough.
All right, I got more for you. We're going to find out who that backup quarterback is. Someone in the chat. Let's go. Get them going here. Here's something for you guys. You know how the salary cap's one of the most talked about things in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
How about this? Some owners now are discussing, should they have a salary cap specifically for quarterbacks?
That's wild.
How about that?
That
It's
is
because
wild.
quarterbacks are getting $50 million plus now a year. What say you, Terry?
I say yes, because the quarterback, if you have a good quarterback, he's going to make a certain amount of money. Somebody who's the 10th highest paid quarterback, when it's this time, he's going to be number one. So it's like a fantasy position. So, and you know what? And you're hurting your team when you pay someone $56 million a year. So, I'd say, have a different salary cap for the quarterbacks than everybody
Hey, what do
else.
we care? It's the owners, right? They're paying the money.
No, you care because you want your team to be good.
Well,
Exactly,
of
yeah.
course.
I mean, why don't you just not have a salary cap? To me, it's like, what's the point of doing that? Just get rid of the salary cap altogether, because that's kind of wild, man. To me, the NFL is set up to where you can't just, stockpile a team for a long period of time. You have to have good GM ownership in place in order to make these type of moves to keep your team relevant. That's kind of like, that's a little out there, don't you think? You play football, you tell me.
So first of all, the funniest thing is I looked it up. I looked the roster up. Guess what his backup's quarterback's name was? Joe Cox. I kid you not. I'm not making it up.
Joey.
War number 14, 61208.
Is that him?
Joe Cox?
Is he the man?
his name. And the other quarterback was Logan Gray. I hope it's the first name. It's a little funnier. Now, getting into the question.
Time for another T-shirt.
Man, what?
Man. She got
don't.
Oh, man.
Don't trust Cox.
Right.
That's what COX, ladies and gentlemen. COX. That's his name.
Don't matter.
As it relates to the quarterback, no, it shouldn't be a cap. Pay him what he's worth.
Yes.
You mean to tell me I got to watch all these quarterbacks as a guy in college right now? You making $55 million. I get to see Jared Goff make $53 million, and then I come into the league, number one pick. I lead a team, and now I can only get a certain amount because there's a cap. Hell no. Just like the NBA. The NBA, if you do a certain thing, you get paid a certain way. Should be the same in football. Quarterbacks, we put all the emphasis, on that position. What do we say? You can't win a Super Bowl without a quarterback. You can't do this without a quarterback. Yeah, maybe Brock Purdy or something like that, but you got to have a quarterback. You can't say all that and then cap what they make. That's erroneous.
We're saying there should not be a cap.
I'm saying there should not be one either.
Yeah.
You said it should be.
No, the quarterbacks are separate from the whole team salary cap. So let's say that the salary cap is $200 million.
Right.
You can pay your quarterback $190 million and it doesn't
won't
count against the cap. Right.
Okay. I like
it's
that.
a separate cap.
Okay.
Right.
I misunderstood
They
that.
just don't have a salary cap.
And I was trying to help you.
Technically, they don't have one. They just added $30 million. Last season?
It goes up every
They're
year.
They're going to add another 40 next year.
But it kind of goes. It kind of goes up at the way.
TV revenue.
Yeah, everything goes
TV
up.
deal.
Yeah,
it's a TV deal.
So just don't have one. Like I said, it's no point.
Here's a guy that got paid, Trevor Lawrence. Now the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL. He went on the. He had his little press conference today.
Clemson years.
Had his press conference today, and he's like, "Hey man, I love being here in Jacksonville. I want to be here to bring him a championship."
We wanted to be here long term,
and
obviously, it's a place we love to live in, and we know that because we've had some good and some bad times as far as football goes. So it's we've kind of experienced both, and we love being here either way. And obviously, the way the organization's going and the direction that we're heading on the football side, that makes it obviously a no-brainer for us. Is we're heading in the right direction, and I want to be the quarterback here. I want to bring a championship to Jacksonville. That's my goal, and I really know that we can accomplish that. So I'm excited for that, and it just pairs up to where we happen to love living here too. So,
do you think Trevor Lawrence will lead the Jacksonville Jaguars to a Super Bowl?
Hell no.
Braylon.
No.
That's your brother-in-law's team.
It is, and I love Marcus. What's up? Shout out to Marcus. I love my family over there, but no, I just don't believe in Doug Peterson without Frank Reich, and I don't believe in the owner in Shad Khan. So with that being said, I think Trevor Lawrence is a talented kid. I know he hasn't necessarily proved it time and time again, but Urban Meyer was his coach at first. Doug Peterson came. Doug Peterson didn't have Frank Reich, who's the quarterback whisperer. What you saw what he did with the Eagles. I just don't think Doug Peterson is the guy. And it's something about Jacksonville. Because they have talent. You look on defense. I mean, you look at Josh Allen. You look at Trayvon
They were the favorite
Walker,
last year to win that division.
And they didn't. And they got smoked.
Injuries.
True. Etienne's been injured since college. I love him as
Lawrence
a running back.
got hurt.
Calvin
Ridley got hurt.
He's gone now, yeah.
But when you watch them, even when they're loaded, even when all of their players are healthy, when you watch them, it is never a team that you're like, oh yeah,
they're not Super Bowl good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So to your point, to your question, no, I don't.
Terry, if you have an owner idiotic enough to hire Urban Meyer as his head coach in the NFL, he's going to make another mistake.
He's a local guy,
that's going
too.
to prevent them
Yeah.
from becoming a powerhouse. So no, he will not win a Super Bowl.
And I like Trevor Lawrence. I think he's a hell of an athlete. I think he's a nice kid. He definitely shows you at times. You saw what he did at Clemson. He followed Deshaun Watson and did it his own way, the national championship. I just don't. There's something about Jacksonville, something about Doug.
I think they have a bounce back year this year, though.
Okay.
They might, but what is it going to account
They
for?
have tons of talent on that team, so they're in the right division to bounce back. Because now it's really them. Well, it's the Texans
Houston.
first.
Yeah.
Then it's them, and then it's the Colts and whatever they're going to do.
Right.
But once again, the Colts.
It's an up-and-coming division.
100%.
All right, but
No
baby
doubt.
boy, bounce back and Super Bowl are two different animals.
Facts. Big fact.
I get it.
Yeah.
But don't forget, they were only a win away. They were a quarter away from the Super Bowl just 3 seasons ago.
Oh, that's right, the Patriots.
Yep.
Yeah, that was.
Think about that.
Somebody said something too. It's like, don't fall in love with these quarterbacks after one season and you really get invested. Because remember, everybody bought into Blake Bortles that year, and we saw what happened in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So we'll take a quick commercial break because we got my man Dr. Jeff Pierce on the line via Nashville. That joker loves him.
He's in Knoxville today.
He's in Knoxville.
Knoxville.
Home of the
Home of the
Volunteers.
Volunteers.
There you go. Nayland
I
Stadium.
wonder if he's wearing orange.
Probably is. We'll take this break and we'll hear a message from. Why do I do this all the time? I can never keep up with it. Swiss.
I've toured Knoxville.
It is critical
before.
for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss Insurance will make sure your carrier is not slipping in extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today at 313-530-1698. That's right, 313-530-1698. SwissINS.com. SwissINS.com. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back. Let's get right to it. Welcome our guy in, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine. He is in Knoxville, my bad, not Nashville, Tennessee. Doc, what's going on, brother?
Just working hard. What are you boys doing? Staying warm?
First of all, you're not working. Every time I hear from you, you're out of town, you're over here, you're over there, you're playing golf, you're at this restaurant, you're doing that. You ain't working.
He's helping people.
You ain't working. I'm messing with you. What's going on, Doc?
We're expanding our message. We're expanding our message to Tennessee. This is all work. All work.
You got to get yourself some of those Firehouse subs down there. Look, we got you a little distorted. Firehouse subs down there, man. They're good. So I've been told.
Yeah. No, I gotta get some. I heard I gotta eat some brisket down here. Near Pigeon area.
Pigeon area. What type of town is Knoxville? Like, I've never been in Knoxville, been in Nashville. I heard good things about Knoxville. Everybody speaks highly of it. You know, I got a couple friends that went to Tennessee, but can't trust people that actually went there because they may just try to gas you up. How's Knoxville?
It's actually great. I mean, I've just got here a couple hours ago, but I'll let you know better now. But there's a lot here. You know, you got the Smoky Mountains within an hour away, so there's a lot of scenery, a lot of greenery, a lot of the people are nice. Everybody's nice so far, and it's we're sitting right downtown from home to the University of Tennessee, volunteers.
Sounds like you might be in that Saddam Hussein bunker right now. that service is bad, man.
Doc, I got something for you on Mike Trout. It's been.
I don't know where you're with that one, but we're going to go on.
Hey, Mike Trout, 7 weeks since his knee surgery. He says he's still not able to run on that knee. Had a torn meniscus. How bad could that knee be? Will he recover enough in time to play this year?
You know, we say we're doing a lot more secret sauce. We keep throwing peptides.
Hold on, Doc. Doc, you're going in and out. We're gonna pause you for a second. And we're gonna have you hang up and dial us back. Hang up and dial us back. Let's try it another way. And if that doesn't work, we'll call you on the phone. So, Dr. Pierce, we're giving you a timeout right now. I think your modem is up in the Smoky Mountains
100%.
right now. My wife wants me to go to the Smoky Mountains, by the way.
Smokies?
The Smokies. I went there maybe like 30 years ago, 28 years ago. Have you guys ever been up to the Smoky Mountains?
Never been to the
Tennessee?
Smoky Mountains, but being a big wrestling fan, I know that was one of the best wrestling
Smoky Mountain
territories.
wrestling.
Yeah, you know about it back in the day.
I'm
Smoky
here.
Mountain. I think my man Mick Foley started out there.
Mm-hmm.
But just getting back to the meniscus tearing, before we get back to that, I tore my meniscus. And I think it's interesting. I think it's different for different people. So when I had the process of tearing my meniscus, they shaved down my meniscus, and then the rehab process is like 4 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the person. Like my knee was never the same, and I think they left some loose bodies in there, and we'll let Doc come back and explain what loose bodies are. But left some loose bodies in there, and my knee was never the same. Like I could always feel when I'm running and stopping, because your meniscus is like your brake pad. So that's what it is, a brake pad for the knee. So when you plant, when you jump, that's the shock absorbers for your knee.
And
When I
Mike
had the
Trout,
surgery-
he plays hard, man. He was
I never
he was
felt the
stealing
same way.
bases.
Yeah.
He
Like
was
now.
Yeah,
I still can jump, but when I jump, I still feel it in there. Like when I
Let's
jump
bring
on
Doc
balls.
back and see if we have a better connection. But Doc, we were just talking about the meniscus. Braylon says his meniscus never really healed properly. I mean, his knee still feels bad. So how could a guy like Mike Trout continue his career?
Oh, he's absolutely going to continue his career. It's just a matter of the surrounding athletics around.
Pain tolerance.
I heard you said you were still feeling some loose bodies. We need to address that because we do a lot of scope work that'll clear you got to have a clean area. And now with PRP and stem cell, we're seeing a lot. Like I just had one of my patients that works with the Red Wings, the NHL. He's 70 years old. We did a PRP on him in 2020, and he's still running and jumping like crazy. And we're just going to tune him up a little next week. But we got to get you that. We got to get you going.
Yeah,
Well,
what I meant to say, Doc, let me clean that thing up there, is when I had the surgery, it didn't feel better when I was with San Fran. And I think maybe that's where I was going, is that maybe it's the doctor. Maybe it's who he chose to use. I chose to listen to the 49ers. You know, what could go wrong if I go to Stanford Medical and not go to Dr. Andrews like everybody else? And they did the surgery, never felt the same in terms of that year. I then went to Dr. Uribe in Miami, and he cleaned out the loose bodies. How I found out that I had loose bodies in there, and they cleaned it out, and it felt better. But when I first came back, being rushed back, just did not feel good at all. And then that's when I found out about loose bodies. So maybe that's what he needs to do. Maybe he needs to go get a second opinion, a different doctor, because maybe that's a small fix for him.
Call Mike Trout instantly, Doc.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I had a whole network because I was so big with the Red Wings and stuff back in the day. A lot of American players were going to Russia to play. Medical care was nowhere near what they were getting paid. You know, that was in the Fedorov days. So we had them coming back, and we cleaned up a few knees there and got them back healthy and back playing. A couple more years where they thought their careers were over. So we've had plenty of experience. So the message to the listeners is feeling uncomfortable, weird. You just got to find the right doctor. Don't always take that first opinion. I'm real big. I'm not a Stanford guy. I'm not a Harvard guy. I'm a local guy, but I work hard clinically to understand what the needs are of the patient. So,
hey, a couple guys got hit this week with fastballs. Mookie Betts of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, they say. And then Aaron Judge gets hit 2 nights ago. He sat out last night's game, but he has no cast on his hand. He said he's fine. We never heard anything from the Yankees. How lucky was Aaron Judge and how unlucky was Mookie Betts?
Well, I actually saw the Mookie Betts live, and it was so sad. I mean, he's such a great player and just a freak thing. You know, all on the inside, just hit him. And you're hitting between the baseball coming at 9 miles an hour in the bat. There's no. So that's an unfortunate, but actually it is it's only 6 to 8 weeks. That's not a major surgery, so it's not a displaced fracture. So actually, that situation is probably the best outcome. So like Trout would be a 6 to 8 week situation, not coming back. Mookie hopefully will have better luck with that recovery. But to be honest, the way we saw it and the way they called it to begin with, it's probably a non-displaced fracture, and that bone contusion can still hurt. I mean, we'll talk about laser treatment, ligament loosening. Again, that secret sauce in the locker room should help him get back in that 6 to 8 weeks. Trout is a little bit of a mystery. There's probably a lot more going on that we don't know about.
Agreed.
As far as Aaron Judge, he's just a bigger guy. His bones a little thicker, maybe, and it's just more fortunate for him. And it's bad luck too. I don't think Judge got it so pinned against the bat where he couldn't move out. So it's that compression between the baseball and the bones got to give on that one.
Here's one for you, another Yankee, but it's an injury that I want to ask you about. It's Jason Dominguez. He goes back to the IL with an oblique injury just weeks after coming back from Tommy John surgery. And they say this is a bad oblique injury, that he could be gone 2 months, they say. So how does those two injuries affect each other?
They have nothing to do with each other.
They have nothing to do with it. So that's just bad luck then.
He's just got bad luck, and he wasn't training well enough while he was recovering from his Tommy John surgery. But the oblique injury, you're talking about the side of his body, your oblique muscles, right?
Yeah.
You understand? So the oblique muscles are the side muscles. When you have your beauty muscles, your chest muscles, and your abs, and then your obliques are the ones that are wrapping around your body into your pelvis. Those are that's where the swimmers look good. Braylon's probably got beautiful obliques too, but
100%.
That's just
I'm down in, man.
The oblique muscles are all those rotational things they're doing. So I'm surprised that he's done that, but it could have been, on the trainer not getting him sport specific ready for his job, right? Because he's rotating, he's pitching, he's doing stuff where those obliques are getting worked on all the time. And with that rest of about a year, he might have done enough rotational stuff to get him ready, and he's putting that force back in because his arm feels good, but his obliques and the rest of the sport conditioning of his body, I'm assuming he wasn't ready.
Right.
You see those guys where they take the medicine ball and they're throwing it against the wall with that rotation, or they take the band work. I'm dancing over here for you. But it's that rotational stuff with force that's why, full conditioning, cross training, but sport specific, he must have missed it. If I had to guess and criticize, he probably missed that sport specific training. So that's the thing. Like, go ahead. I'm rambling.
No, you're not. I was just going to say, you talked about a swimmer's oblique muscles. Did you happen to see Katie Ledecky win her meet by 20 seconds? 20 seconds.
Beast, man.
That's unbelievable.
She's been doing it for a minute,
These are
too.
Olympic athletes. She's not going against high school kids.
No.
She's at a different level. She's just at a different level. I mean, it just proves it. I mean, hopefully she can do the same in the actual Olympics.
Yeah.
But she's training. She's got a mission. I mean, she's got that, like that Michael Phelps body.
Yep.
You have a natural body with those arms, that longer torso and big feet. You have swimmers' bodies that are more prone to, and she's she has genetics, but she's working her butt off too.
Hey, man, you've been around the block like me a little bit. I mean, we've seen Mark Spitz. We've seen the great swimmers, Michael Phelps. This girl could be better than all of them.
Nah, ain't nobody ever going to be better than Michael Phelps.
I don't know about that.
Nobody's going to be better than Michael Phelps. I trained with Mike. Well, I didn't train with Mike, but I used to, you know the story. I used to hang out.
You used to watch him train.
True, I used to jump off the diving board while he was actually doing the training work. But pause, like the way in which his body is structured, from shoulders to the length of his arms to how he can consume more oxygen, like nobody will ever do what Michael Phelps did. Period. Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps will never happen again.
Well, this girl's pretty good.
Kayla Decky is cold, 100%. Michael Phelps did that over 4 Olympics.
Yeah, how old is she? She's got probably this Olympics and one more in her.
Yeah, she's not as young as you think now. It's not like she's 20.
Yeah, I think she's in her 20s.
Yeah, she's like 28.
I don't even know if she's that old.
It's crazy.
I know she's like 24.
I could be wrong. I could be making stuff up, but I think Kayla Decky's up there.
How about
know those
25?
kind of facts?
Doc? Have you been to any good concerts lately?
Oh, she's 27. Yeah,
27.
I told you I was up at 1. I said 28.
Have you been to any
Appreciate
good concerts lately, Doc? Who are you working on behind stage?
We had Styx and Journey in last week. They at Pine Knob. Remember Styx and Journey? You guys are
100%.
Love that.
What?
I wish I was there.
Renegade was one of my favorite songs when I was in the NFL.
Wish I was there.
Oh, mama, I've been. Man,
That is a
that's
good
the
one,
joint.
man.
They play that in Pittsburgh. You know you about to get whooped.
Still selling out. How about NKOTB? Were you there for New Kids on the Block the other night?
You know what? I will admit I was not needed. I did not go, and I went kayaking with my family. I had to get out on the water, and that was just last night? No, 2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. I would have thought they needed you the most, those guys.
Yeah, they did. Last year, I treated the whole family, the families, the entertainers, everybody. I had a full boat. You got Maroon 5 tomorrow night.
Oh, wow. Is Levine still with them?
Pine Knob? Tomorrow night?
Yeah.
I like
Is
Maroon
Adam Levine
5.
still there with them?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Not to rip on Adam,
here it
but
comes.
I took care of Adam Levine before he was on The Voice.
Yeah.
And he was the nicest, politest guy, very thankful, the whole thing. He gets on The Voice, and all of a sudden there's lockdown and doesn't eat anything. It's just a whole different person. I'm just like, dude, we took care of you. Like, get over it.
Absolutely.
Well, you know how these guys get when they go on those shows, man. Whether it's the American Idol or The Voice, they become big time.
No, he's The Voice.
That's it.
Yeah,
Either
they
or.
become big time.
Doc, last question. We're gonna let you go. Monty Williams got fired. Did it surprise you?
Oh, yeah. Like someone said, it's like you're gonna rip on Gore. Gore went and got a guy supposed to get it done. Paid him a lot of money. A lot of money. Was he number 1 or number 2?
Number 1 ever.
Gave him, like, you get to do whatever you want with this team. Give me wins. He did not perform. I mean, we're graded on quality measures. Where's his quality measure? I mean, how do you not have? No, I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed. Pistons were so disappointing. I mean, they had talent to win. Why couldn't it be put together? It's a locker room issue.
Doc, enjoy Knoxville. No, you're good. You're good. You share the same take as Terry Foster. So look, man.
By the
you
way,
guys
press
are on the
conference
same
tomorrow
page.
What's
officially.
Terry say?
Officially, press conference
breaking.
tomorrow. Trajan Langdon and the owner, Tom Goris, at, I guess, Little Caesars or the Pistons practice facility, one of those
3:30.
places.
That should
What
be
time?
and confirmed by Kool-Aid, our very own.
3:30, you said?
Yep, 3:30.
So right
tomorrow.
during our show. All right, perfect.
Doc, enjoy Knoxville. Be safe. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, which isn't saying much.
Yeah, that's not leaving much out.
All right, here you go. See, I was going to leave on that, man. We'll see you next week, Doc.
See you, Doc.
Dr. Jeff
Be safe.
Spears, Michigan Sports
All
Inspired.
right,
We
miss you
appreciate
guys.
you.
See you next.
Miss you, man.
Doc, always fun having Doc.
We
on the
got
show.
through that with all the bumps
It
and
was bad
bruises.
in the beginning.
We picked it up, man.
It was bad.
That was a good call to redo.
100%, man.
The old redo.
You typically do things the right way. Look, we appreciate you for joining the show. Thanks to my man Terry Foster for filling in. You coming back tomorrow?
I'm here tomorrow.
Let's do it
I
again.
don't know how, but I'm here.
I don't know how.
Also tomorrow, we'll have Sean McDonough, who is doing Game 6 out in Edmonton. Edmonton versus the Florida Panthers. We'll have more on that. Tomorrow, we'll just have more fun like this.
All the Michigan State people love him still. You know why they love him.
Trouble with the snap.
Trouble with the snap. That was his game.
You know what? Hey, and I was there and we lost. It is what it is. We took an L. Hey, sometimes that happens. But I'm in on that note. No jokes behind it, T-Foss. I'm going to rock like that. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network. KG, James, appreciate you guys. Peace, Spy. I see you back there. The Wizard of Oz. Tune in tomorrow.
See you guys.
Yep.